I'm in Carlise, Pennsylvania in the United States, pretty close to where I grew up. Where I grew up, it's pretty country. Pennsylvania is sometimes called Pennsatucky. So here, I'm at Kutz's mud bog. So basically there's this huge mud puddle that they made, and these huge cars try to go through the mud. People are in the mud. You can bring beer, they're selling food. I'd say it's a pretty country thing to do. It's the first time I've ever been to one, but I just found it on Facebook. I thought this looked really cool. And I was nervous being kind of like an outsider coming here, but so far it's been a fine time. And it's really cool to see all of these cars go through so much mud. So you might be wondering what mud bogging is in general. So according to Google, mud bogging is a form of off-road motorsport popular in Canada and the United States, in which the goal is to drive a vehicle through a pit of mud or a track of set length. Winners are determined by the distance traveled through the pit. And so here's what I saw, pretty close. This event wasn't a competition, it's really just for good fun, but still really cool to experience. And so you can't just go mudding anywhere. Actually, the USDA website says that it's illegal in public lands because it tends to really dig up the dirt and mess up the ground. So in this sense, we're really thankful to have the Kutz family host this event in their own yard so people can still go mudding. And like I said before, I was nervous going to a private property where I didn't know anybody. This is just a Facebook event, and I don't have, a cowboy hat, I don't wear the Confederate flag, and I have cowboy boots, but I wasn't wearing them. So I really was nervous, seeing, going in this crowd of people, but really thankful that, like I said before, it worked out really well, and I always felt really comfortable. And so while I was there, I learned that the Kutz family actually spent about $1,500 just in water to make this mud puddle. And that's not including the amount of money they spent on gas, for the tractors, to pull out cars that got stuck. So really this event, although it seems pretty casual, not too much, it actually cost a lot of money and took a ton of effort. One of the ways they were making money back was accepting donations and selling food at the event. But it still is a ton of work that went into just making this big mud puddle. And one of the also fun parts about having this big mud puddle is that you can just, wear a swimsuit or go in your clothes and just run straight into this puddle of mud and cover yourself in mud. You can do some mud wrestling. I didn't get to go because I was meeting some friends after and I didn't really prepare. I didn't want to get all muddy. But next time, I would definitely love to do some mud wrestling. And so in addition to wrestling in the mud, one of the things I find really interesting about this event is how you get your car to go through this mud puddle. So as an engineer, there's a lot that goes into having an engine and running through mud and water that, that's not generally what you want an engine to go through. So there's definitely modifications that these cars have specifically so they can go through this mud. My Pontiac Vibe would not survive at all. There would probably be no forward motion from my Pontiac Vibe. So when it comes to the technical aspects, I think one of the most noticeable differences is the air intake. So basically these cars have sort of the snorkel shape towards the top, towards the front of their car. And that allows your engine to get air, clean air, instead of typically air will come through the front and the front of your car is all in mud. So you don't want to suck in mud into your engine. Then I think the second most noticeable difference is the wheels and the suspension. So you can see these cars have huge wheels with good traction to get through the mud. And they have good suspensions for if there's dips. And I think finally one of the other bigger differences is you definitely need to make sure your car has sort of a tow. So when your car does get stuck, that you can hook it up to a tractor to pull out. And reading articles online, it seems like the trick to doing this mud bog is that you don't go too fast in case you hit a log or a hole. But you don't want to go too slow because you want momentum. So the trick is to have a good middle ground of speed, and lighter the car the better, so you just don't get sucked down. But so essentially I kind of feel like a mini expert now, and I kind of wish I did have a car to drive. Or maybe not drive, but at least sit in. I really do want to sit in a car in the next mudding event. But although I didn't get to, do mud wrestling and get in the car and all that, I am just really happy that I went. I do take pride in myself of being this solo traveler adventurer, but pushing myself out of my comfort zone. But surprisingly, you know, even though this is in my home area, this for me was more intimidating to go to than, you know, any other country almost. I think because it is in my home, and it is a place that I knew, like, I generally wouldn't have gone to growing up. But I'm proud that I went. You know, I had a ton of fun. I got to see something I never would have seen before. And everyone you know, was nice. And I didn't have a problem with anything. Always things to learn, things to explore, things to push outside your comfort zone, even in your own area. There's so much to do, so much to learn. Learned a ton from this event. Thanks for watching, and check back next week for another video.